Hi guys, welcome to Oliveboard. A very good evening to all of you. I hope I am audible and visible. So welcome back to the session of ASI for regulatory bodies. My name is Lakshmi and let's begin with the session. But before moving ahead, I want you to confirm if I am audible and visible. Everything is sorted, then I'll start with the class. Okay, then let's start. The homework question that I gave you was an initiative by the department to honor the sacrifices which are made by the ex-servicemen and their families by proactively engaging with them and addressing their grievances related to the department's various welfare schemes. What is the name of the campaign that was launched by the department? So the name of the campaign was Samadhan Campaign. I hope you are able to understand. Next thing. Let's revise. So this is the question. You can just give it a reading. WHO recently published a global report on neglected tropical disease. This report details the progress made in 2023. You have to tell me which country is the 50th to eliminate neglected tropical disease. What is the name of the country? So yes, the name of the country is Iraq, not Iran. It's Iraq. Next. Who released the annual report on antimicrobial agents intended for use in animals? So who has released this? So who has released this? Yes, it has been released by World Organization for Animal Health. It's the first edition of the report, yes or no? It's the first edition of the report, yes or no? Yes, it's World Organization for Animal Health. What number of report it is? It's the 8th edition, very good. So it's the 8th edition of the report that has been launched. Moving ahead, what is India's expected growth rate for the year 2024 according to the World Economic Situation and Prospects? The report was published by United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Yes, so what was the outlook? It was 6.9% for 2024. For 2025, the growth rate is a little bit less, that is 6.6%. How will the world economy be growing? It will be growing by 2.7%. This also you need to remember. Now, since Maharshi is adding some great points to this question, there is Kerala's initiative as well. Kerala का भी एक initiative है which is specifically for these antimicrobial resistance. तो केरला का वो initiative का नाम है Rebuild Kerala Project. In fact, they also have this Amrit. They also have Amrit Vision. AMRITH. They also have this Amrit initiative and Rebuild Kerala Project initiative. Now you tell me, under this Rebuild Kerala initiative, which organization is working with Kerala? Is it WHO? Is it World Bank? Is it IMF? Or is it Asian Development Bank? This is the homework question. For Rebuild Kerala Project, which organization is working with Kerala? Is it Asian Development Bank, WHO, World Bank, or IMF? Lalit is saying WHO, but then you have to tell me in the comment section. Next, which of the following is correct regarding Nidi initiative? We talked about Nidi in the last class. It's of Ministry of Communication. Now tell me which of the following is correct. If at all a statement is incorrect, you have to tell me what could be the correct version of it. If you are liking the session, do hit the like button. जितने ज़्यादा like होते हैं और comments होते हैं, video अपने आप push होता है, and that also give a boost to my confidence that okay, whatever is going, it's going great. Anyone? Rahul is saying option number A and C. Rudresh is saying option number D. Rudresh has very well pointed out that top 10 will be selected. Top 10 startups are to be selected. Rest A and C statement is correct. If at all you have any queries, you can go back and revise yesterday's class. Now for STAR program. For STAR program, it will support your research and development in telecom technologies. Yes or no? Yes, it is correct. It will offer scholarships to PhD students from top 10. Top 10 nahi, it is top 20. Very good, Ashish. Very good, Aditi. So it's not top 10, it's top 20 engineering institutes as per your NIRF ranking. Each selected PhD student will receive a scholarship of 6 lakhs and not 5 lakhs per annum for up to how many years? For up to 4 years. Thus, option number A is the only statement that is correct. I hope you were able to find it out. Next is regarding the PLFS data. This can be a little tricky if you have not revised, because this is solely based upon the data. But then this is how the questions are asked. Good, Rudra. Good, Prashant. Unemployment rate for this very year is 6.7%. So statement number A is the one that is incorrect. Rest all statements, they are correct. That is, LFPR has shown an increasing trend and has reached 50.2%. Worker population ratio has increased to 46.9%. Female LFPR 25.6%, and female workforce participation rate, it's 23.4%. That's the correct answer. बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रिकी है डेटा, बट देखो याद तो करना पड़ेगा, पेपर में आता है, पूछा जाता है. ये डेटा सिर्फ वही डेटा है जो मुझे लगता है सबसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, वरना डेटा तो बहुत सारा था. सो एटलीस्ट ट्राई टू रिमेंबर दिस मच. बार बार पढ़ोगे, ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम यू विल बी एबल टू रिमेंबर इट. नेक्स्ट, just revise it from here. Next thing, Dash has organized the ONDC Startup Mahotsav. Which ministry has started this Mahotsav? Anybody? Yes, it's DPIIT, which is under Ministry of Commerce. Then Ministry of Law and Justice with Assam government had this conference, India's Progressive Path in Administration of Criminal Justice System. We'll be having the 3 criminal laws updated, or we'll be having, rolling out of those 3 criminal laws on which date? Is it 1st of June 2024 or is it 1st of July 2024? It will start from this year only, 1st June or 1st July. Yes, it will be 1st of July 2024. That will be the correct answer. For the PDF, you can download the Oliveboard's app, and under the courses PDF section, you can download the YouTube class PDF as well. If you want to enroll in any course, you can use the code BUDH to enroll in any whichever you feel is correct for you. Agar session pasand aaye, then do hit the like button. Next is, what is the objective of Material Vigilance Program of India? So Material Vigilance Program of India is an initiative which has an objective of what? It's because it's for education, it's for medical devices, it's for space exploration, it's for artificial intelligence, or it's for cyber security. What do you think? Anybody? Ashish is saying for medical devices. Rishika is saying the same. Maharshi is opting for cyber security. Yes. So option number B would be the correct answer. See, Material Vigilance Program of India. This is a program primarily by your Drugs Controller General of India. It has directed that all the medical device license holders and the manufacturers, if at all they find that in any medical device there is a problem, there is problem with respect to manufacturing, or there is some other defect, that has to be reported there and then. There is a platform, Material Vigilance Program of India platform. Over there they can report it. This program was launched in 2015 to monitor the safety of medical devices that are used in our country. Why? Because we want to make our country as a hub for medical tourism. I hope you know that there is one concept of medical tourism where we have this motto, Heal in India campaign. Heal in India. Earlier it was heal by India. So, you know, our nurses would travel abroad and you use their expertise to heal in their hospitals. But now we are promoting medical tourism. Heal in India campaign is our motto. Thus, we have done this. Now, in couple of classes before, we talked about IMEC. Sometimes IMEC is also called as IMEC. But then what is the corridor all about? It says that from Mumbai and a port over here, that is your Kandla, Mundra port from Gujarat, we'll be using these two ports to reach the eastern side of Europe. So this is your European countries. We'll try to reach the eastern side via, sometimes we'll cover it via sea route. We'll reach Dubai. Dubai mein there is this Jebel Ali port. We'll utilize that. Then via the rail route, we'll be reaching this Al Hadid. After that, in Israel, there will be a Haifa port. Then after, we'll be going to Greece. Then again, we can use rail route to reach all the European nations. So that's how is your India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. Now, why was it again in news? See, this economic corridor came into being after your G20 summit that happened in New Delhi. There was an MOU that was signed. In the MOU, we had European Union, India, US. Remember this, though it has nothing to do directly with US, but US was also a member country. Then Saudi Arabia, UAE, France, Germany, Italy, there were a couple of more countries as well. This IMEC, recently there was a meeting, there was a discussion that was held and India was a party to that discussion. That's why it was in news. The corridor is a mix of both shipping as well as rail route. That's what I wanted to highlight. I hope you are clear with this. Now, generalized system of preferences. It's basically a voluntary trade measure where two countries, one will be a developed country like your US, other will be a developing country or a least developed country. So they come into an agreement where a developed country like US will say that I will charge less tariffs upon the imports that you are doing in my country. So that is generalized system of preferences where a country will be given a specific preference in trade. Tell me, this type of preferences comes under the aegis or it comes under which organization, which institution? WTO, WTO? No, Ashish, this time you are wrong. It's your UNCTAD. It's your UNCTAD which actually caters to this. Next is, what is generalized system of preferences? See, why are we talking about it? Because India and US, we had this agreement, GSP agreement, but then it was taken back by US. We want to again renew it because who doesn't want to have less custom duties on our on their respective exports? So US was earlier categorizing us as its GSP partner, its generalized system of preferences. This GSP came into or was instituted in 1971 under the aegis of UNCTAD. It's a voluntary trade measure. It's not mandatory. It's voluntary. If you want, you can. It provides an advantageous or a preferential tariff treatment to imports which are coming from the developing countries. These developing countries, you can also say the least developed countries also. India is one of the primary beneficiaries of such kind of agreement. You know, we around 40% of India exports which are going to European Union are covered under this GSP, European Union GSP. While prior, you know, earlier we had this kind of a GSP with United States as well. We had 10% of our exports under this, but now they had taken away the status. But again, we are looking forward to have the status being revived. The preferences are in the form of either the elimination. Now, what kind of preferences they are going to give? Either they are going to take back the custom duties or they are going to list some products on which they will not levy any custom duty. So, there will be a list. Accordingly, the custom duties will be levied on them. GSP is a unilateral custom duty. It's not bilateral. That means if US is giving some kind of subsidy to India, then it's not there that India also has to give back the same. It's not required. It's unilateral, one directional. Major country that grants GSP, majority of them will be the developed nation. Because only developed one will be there who can grant the status to the developing country, and that too unilaterally. I hope this is clear. Now, you might be thinking that similar kind of thing we have read about, just 1 minute. You might be thinking that similar kind of thing we have read about in the most favored nation status, but then what's the difference? There is a difference. Your generalized system of preferences, which is by your UNCTAD, and your most favored nation, which is, yes, by your WTO. What's the difference? The difference is, in the preferences part, we are concerned about the developing countries only. So UNCTAD says, because UNCTAD has a motto of development, so it is focusing upon the developing world. Your MFN status, sure that non-discriminatory trade should happen between the WTO members. Scope, what is the scope? The scope is unilateral, it's basically unilateral, but over here it's multilateral. So MFN status, when somebody is giving the MFN status, in that case, whosoever is the party of the WTO, whosoever is the member country of the WTO will get the benefit of the most favored nation status. Next thing is the eligibility. It depends upon the economic status that you are in. If you are a developing country, you will get it, otherwise not. Here, MFN, it is automatically granted to all WTO members. Generalized system of preferences, lower tariffs will be levied, but most favored nation, every WTO member will be granted the same status. So therefore, here, if we say it's unilateral, it's multilateral. Everybody has to follow the same status. By that I mean, let's say if India, on some solar panels, if it was importing from US and it was charging 2% custom duty from US, if it's importing the same thing from UAE, then also it has to charge 2% only. That's your most favored nation status. Yes, Datta is asking, then what is the difference between GSP and FTA? Somebody, can you tell me what is the difference between GSP and FTA then? See, when we say free trade agreement, it's always bilateral. Thoda aap karo, thoda hum karenge. You do a little bit, we'll also do a little thing. So that's how the FTA is being done. But in your GSP, it's purely unilateral, one-sided. Yes, India took away Pakistan's MFN status after the Pulwama attack. Yes, that's correct. Very good, Sanjay. It's your free trade agreement which talks about bilateral thing. Thoda aap karo, thoda hum karenge. That's how the things work in FTA. But in your GSP, it's unilateral, one-sided. I hope this is clear. Any problem? I hope so not. Let's move ahead. With the Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. So this is a framework, a big name, but a very important framework. Let's talk about it. So it's your Convention on Biological Diversity, which is known as CBD. Now let's first see what is the CBD. When I say CBD, an international treaty that was adopted by your United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. Where it happened? It happened in Rio. It's also known as Earth Summit. In which year it happened? It happened in 1992. So in Earth Summit, there was a discussion about how we can preserve our environment. So over there, there was one treaty that was adopted internationally, that was Convention on Biological Diversity. In the year 1992, everything was held. Where was the headquarter? Montreal, that is in Canada. Member countries 196, India is also a member. As the name suggests, it talks about biological diversity. It works for the preservation of that. So जो भी country इसकी member होती है, each country which is a member to this, they have to have certain laws. So India also has Biological Diversity Act of 2002 to preserve our biological diversity. So that's what is your Convention on Biodiversity, short we say CBD. Now, what is this framework talking about? So recently we have adopted a framework. The framework is non-binding. Remember this, it's non-binding. And it was adopted in 15th Conference of Parties of CBD in Montreal, that is in December 2022. What is the aim? The aim is either to halt the biodiversity loss or whatever loss has happened to replace that, to reverse that. By which year? By 2030. There are 23 targets that are set. You need not remember the targets. Some of the targets, like, for answer writing if you want, 30% conservation of land, sea and inland water, 30% restoration of degraded ecosystem. These are some of the targets. There is one more thing. There is one more specific target which says 30 by 30. What is this? It says that 30% of Earth's land and oceans to be given a protected status by 2030. Protected we means we'll not be able to or we'll not harm them. Specifically, protected status will be granted. What are the goals? There are 4 goals of this framework that has to be achieved by 2050. Remember, the goals are for 2050, the target for 2030. Ecosystem and species health have to be preserved. Sustainable use has to be there. Equitable sharing of benefits have to be there. Can you tell me which protocol talks about equitable sharing of resources? Is it Nagoya Protocol or it's Cartagena Protocol? Nagoya or Cartagena? One of the protocol talks about similar things, equitable sharing of benefits. Next thing, implementation and finance, including, you know, if we have to implement anything, we need money. And for that, we are seeking 700 billion per year. Let's see if it happens or not. Anyways, what is the full form of ISB? The context of National Highway Authority of India, innovative approach to get its work done. What is this ISB? It's basically a kind of bond. Can somebody tell me the full form of it? Maharshi is saying C, infrastructure security bond. Okay. Very good. So it's your insurance surety bond. Option number C would be the correct answer. Now let's talk about this bond and all. See, NHAI has organized a workshop, see, a couple of years back, even 2 years back. In our budget also, we talked about this insurance bond. What happens is, let's take the example of the government. So, government is the one who is actually looking for the construction of highways. So, it went to a private party. This is a private business. It says that, you know, you built a highway for us. For that, government will be paying some money. But then what happened was, government was a little bit skeptical. Why? Because there is a risk involved. What is the risk? What if this private company is not able to yield the required amount of infrastructure that government wants? Maybe the quality of product it is using, it's not good, or else there can be a situation where, you know, whatever the money is being paid, the private party is not even doing anything on the ground, nothing has been done. So there is both kind of risk, cost risk as well as time risk, because time is also going and the money is also being paid. In this scenario, the government says that there should be some surety party, someone who gives the surety that what if my thing fails, what if my project, what if my money, what I'm giving is not up to the mark, the infrastructure is not created up to the mark. So for that, what will this private company do is, private company will pay some amount of premium. Let's say it paid a premium of ₹100. On paying of some premium, the private company will get a surety bond, which will say that if the infrastructure which is created is not up to the mark, in that case, these surety parties will give back money to the government. Will give back whole money to the government. What is this? It is a kind of insurance only. It's a kind of insurance product where if we are not happy with the product that the private sector is giving, this surety firm will give back our money. So when, you know, these things started, it was a bank. It was banks who were giving this surety. The surety earlier were given by the banks, but now the surety is being given by your insurance firms. But now the surety is being given by your insurance firm. Now, what is the difference? Bank they are insurance firm they. Do you think it makes much of a difference? Yes, it does. Banks, they are being regulated by your RBI. Insurance firms, they are being regulated by your Insurance Regulatory Authority of India. First of all, the regulation which is being done is by different entities. Next thing, when the bank was giving this surety, with this premium fees, bank was also asking for a collateral. Now, think for an example, private party is not only giving the premium but also has to keep a collateral. That might create a burden on this private party. And this PPP model, where public and private, they both are moving together, that can create a hurdle. So, government said, no collateral will be required if the surety bond is coming from the insurance company side. So that's what a change was done 2 years back. But then why was it in news? Because insurance surety bonds, there was a workshop that was organized by NHAI. Recently, many of the projects that are being taken up by our NHAI, they are using this bond to get their work done. These bonds, they are given a legally enforceable financial instrument status. They provide financial guarantee to the contractors to meet their obligations. Ministry of Finance has recognized ISBs as equivalent to bank guarantees for all government procurements. Now, in any of these insurance surety bond, there are three parties. One is the principal, then it's the obligee, and then it's your surety. Surety, I hope you can understand, this is your insurance company, which is actually giving a insurance bond. Now, this principal is actually the one who will purchase the bond from the surety, that is the private company. And this obligee is nothing but the government, if at all in this scenario we have to consider. I hope this is clear. Anything that you want to ask, please ask. है ना? तो इस केस में इंश्योरेंस कंपनी आपकी श्योरिटी प्रोवाइड करेगी. This principal is nothing but the private player who will be buying this surety bond, and this obligee is somewhat, you say, the government. This surety company is giving the government the assurance that if the private player is not able to deliver as per what you require, we'll pay you back. That's what is the case. NHAIs have been actively promoting this insurance surety bond. As far as this time is concerned, 700 such bonds which are valued rupees 3,000 crores have been issued. So you can remember the value as well, but I don't think so question will be from here, but then you can just read it. What is the significance? See, it has made it very easy for public-private partnership to happen. Government is also sure, private sector is also getting business. So all in all, it's a win-win situation, because more infrastructure if it's creating, it will lead to multiplier effect in the economy. Multiplier effect means that if we are spending rupees 1, we are spending rupee 1 on any infrastructure project, as per Ministry of Finance, it yields a result of rupees 4. So that's what the multiplier effect is. I hope this is clear. Yes. Masha, I'll try. Anything else you want to ask? I hope so not. Let's move ahead to interest equalization schemes. So there are a couple of heavy topics today. Anyways, just sit and listen. Interest equalization scheme. It was launched in 2015. For the first time, I feel I'll be doing this. It was launched in 2015. Recently, Union Cabinet has given an approval of additional allocation of rupees 2,500 crore to continue the scheme till 2024, 30th June 2024. Earlier, the initial outlay was 9,500 crores, but now 2,500 additional crores have been given. Ministry of Commerce and Industry is the one who is having this scheme, or is the nodal ministry of the scheme. The objective of this is to help the exporters from identified sectors. So certain sectors have been identified, and not only this, MSMEs manufacturing, those who are manufacturing and exporting, they can avail pre as well as post shipment rupee export credit. See, whenever I am exporting, before exporting, I need some credit for raw material for setting up my industry. After I have shipped, I might need more money, maybe for shipping related expenses, or to continue my business. So pre as well as post shipment rupee credit can be availed. It will make export sector more competitive. Apart from that, specific focus over there is given to labor intensive sectors. So all those sectors that are labor intensive, we will be covering those sectors in this scheme. Now, who is implementing this? Because the credit is taken from banks, RBI is going to be the one who will see through this process. So various public and non-public sector banks, they have been chosen under this scheme. Now, who will monitor this? See, under monitoring, one will be your RBI for sure, because credit is going through its hands. Next thing, it's the Directorate General for Foreign Trade, because over here foreign trade is involved, so DGFT has to be there. Can somebody tell me DGFT comes under Ministry of Finance, Ministry of External Affairs, or Ministry of Commerce and Industry? If somebody can tell me. Next, if I talk about the features of the scheme, so it gives interest equalization benefit of 2% on both pre as well as post to the exporters. So let's say I am the exporter. So no, I am an exporter X. I went to the bank and I asked that, I want money for export. The bank said that, okay, I can give you 8% loan. I can give you credit on 8%. So what will happen is, I will be paying 6%, rest 2% will be paid by Government of India. That's what this interest equalization means. Rest 2% will be coming from Government of India's side. Now, if it's an MSME manufacturer, then 2% for normal exporters. If it's an MSME, then 3% will be given. In that case, MSME has to just pay 5%. Now, what will happen is, if my taxes are less, my input cost is less, my product will become competitive. I hope you can understand. If as an exporter, I am able to render less of the prices, if my product is at low prices, I can get it. In that case, my input cost will be less. Certainly, whatever I am producing will be very much competitive in the foreign market. I hope this is clear. Please give me a thumbs up, guys. इतना चुप रहोगे मुझे समझ नहीं आएगा if you are able to understand or not. With thumbs up, it will be very good if you can give me a like button as well. Anyways, I hope you were able to understand this much. How many products is it covering? It is only covering 410 in identified products, or you can say 410 identified tariff lines will be covered. Next thing, the scheme has now been made fund limited. Earlier, what used to be the case? You can get as much as interest equalization as you want, but now there is a cap. What is the cap? As an exporter, in a year you cannot get interest subsidy which is crossing 10 crores. So you will only get subsidy up to 10 crores. By this, government will be able to target more MSMEs or more exporters, because earlier what used to be the case, a single exporter would get 25 crore, 100 crores, but now there is a cap, only 10 crore per exporter per annum. Remember this, per annum. Next thing, in addition, the banks that lend to the exporters at an average rate which is more than repo rate plus 4% will not be qualifying for the scheme. That also means they have capped upon the banks to not exceed repo plus 4%. If suppose today the repo rate is 6%, banks should not lend beyond 10%. Otherwise, interest equalization scheme, where the banks will not get the credit under the IES. I hope this is also clear. कह सकते हैं export लेने वाले, but then we have the mechanism under WTO where we can use this thing. Next thing, I knew Maharshi would be straight away asking, मैम फिर IES और RoDTEP स्कीम में फर्क क्या है? Let's see फर्क क्या है. सबसे पहला, दोनों ही स्कीम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री की. पहले तो यही फर्क है, फर्क नहीं है, सेम है. दोनों ही स्कीम मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री की है. नेक्स्ट थिंग, this scheme came in 2015, this came in 2020. The purpose over here is to give subsidy on interest rates. The purpose over here is whatever taxes or whatever duties you have paid, they will not be to refund the embedded taxes as well as duties. So you'll get back whatever duties or custom duties or whatever you have paid. What are the target beneficiaries? So they have targeted some MSMEs, some labor intensive sector. But over here, the exporters include your SEZ exporters, your goods exporters, everybody. But remember, in the interest equalization, they have only have 410 tariff lines. So you cannot cross that. सिर्फ उन्हीं tariff lines के लिए सिर्फ उन्हीं exporters को benefit मिलेगा, those who are covered under this 410 list. Subsidy, it's 2% for all the exporters. If it's an MSME, then 3%. I hope you know what is the definition of MSME. If not, go back, revise. In RoDTEP, various products, all the sectors, they are being covered. Implementation, as I have told you, Ministry of Commerce. Here also it's the same, but sometimes the question can be there that on which committee recommendation RoDTEP was adopted. So it was your GK Pillai committee. Scheme duration, it will be till June 2024. It will be till September 2024. That's why both the schemes are very important, because this year it will be the cutoff date. I hope this is also clear. Initial outlay, it was 9,500 crores, but then 2,500 crore has been given very recently. Over here, it was 15,070 crores. For the year 24-25, they say 10% additional grant will also be given over this. 410 identified tariff lines are there. It's very broad. It covers agriculture, textile, you know, many industry. Monitoring, I have told you DGFT and RBI. Over here, monitoring is done by, because taxes are involved, CBIC. Any problem in this, please ask. If not, then that's it from my side. Today, no homework question, but comment section में जरूर बताना how you like the session. अगर session पसंद आया हो तो do hit the like button. I know today's session was a little bit tricky. It was very complex. So we'll cover whatever is left in tomorrow's class. Anything that you want to ask? E-commerce as well. Yes. I have uploaded one report. You can just check it out. After that, I have also uploaded one. I'll be uploading this at 8, having a RBI circular also uploaded. You can look it out in that. Okay then, thank you. Have a nice day. If you find anything which is tricky, you can write it down in the comment section. We'll try to rectify it tomorrow. Thank you. Have a nice day.